Lesson here on the sociology of family about family breakdown and divorce and the rise in it in the last 100 or so years, particularly the last 40, 50 years. Here's the key words. So, the number of divorces has definitely risen a lot. In the year 1900, it was only a couple of hundred divorces per year, per annum, PA, each year. In 1950, it was about 20,000. In 1990, it was into 160,000. 2010, down a little bit, 135,000. So the pattern is really clear. The number of divorces has risen, and it has risen a lot. So why? Various reasons. Partly, the social stigma, the social shame around divorce has gone. In the past, were you to get divorced, you would have a lot of social shame, a lot of stigma. Your family would no longer want to know you. You would lose friends. That's a lot of social pressure to stay married. And that stigma has largely gone. Now, you're going to get divorced. Well, that's a shame, but no one turns their back on you. Your family doesn't want to know you anymore. That doesn't happen. And that is linked to this. Again, our old friend, secularization. As religion becomes less powerful, divorce goes up. It's religion, the Christian religion in particular, that has taught that divorce is wrong, and therefore many people didn't get divorced, even if they may have wanted to. Now, no one really cares what the church thinks, and therefore they're more likely to get divorced. And as that secularization change has kicked in, the law has changed to match it. Over time, as the law changes, the number of divorces shoots up. Every time they change the law to make divorce easier, the number of divorces rises quite suddenly. As an example, the 1969 Divorce Reform Act got rid of the idea of the matrimonial offence. Until that point, if you wanted a divorce, you had to prove one of you had done something wrong. She cheated on me, he hit me. Yeah? With this particular law being changed in 1969, you can now say, I want to get divorced because we have irreconcilable differences. We just don't get on anymore. So you can get divorced more easily, and it became cheaper. You didn't need thousands of pounds in lawyers' bills. So the law changed, but remember, the law changed because the culture changed first. This is all cultural changes. The next cultural change, expectations. Anthony Giddens did the work on this, and he said, in our culture, our view of what we expect from marriage has changed a lot in the last 100 to 60 years. In the past, it was just almost a business deal. The man would have a job, money for the family, that sort of thing. Love and romance and happiness was a long way down the list. Today, Giddens says our culture's changed, and we expect a lot from life. We expect happiness. If you have high expectations, you are more likely to be disappointed. The laws change, so you get divorced easier. And linked to that, women. It is mostly women's expectations of divorce that have changed. Women are working more, therefore they have their own money, therefore they don't need to stay married. And importantly, of that 135,000 people getting divorced in 2010, 120,000 were women divorcing their husbands. It's women unhappy with marriage. Yeah? That could be to do with things like the dual birth and the anarchy stuff. If a woman's got a job and she gets home from work and her husband's still expecting her to do all the housework, she may get sick of that eventually, see that injustice, and decide to get a divorce. We don't know for certain, but that's the sort of thing we think's going on. So as divorce goes up, certain implications and consequences come up. We have more lone parent families, more remarriage, more cohabitation, more court disputes about money and kids, more reconstituted families. And we have a worry, particularly amongst functionalists in the New Right, that without men, boys don't have role models. So which leads us to this bit here. Who in sociology is against divorce and why? Well, of course, it is functionalists, and particularly the New Right. They say divorce and long-parent families is potentially a problem. It is a problem in our culture to do with socialisation of children.